Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my BTS Japanese Photocard collection reorganization. I'm very excited to show you. We have a lot of cards here to get through. We have a lot of fillers to show off and generally just reorganizing the entire section. I do expect this is probably going to be a chattier, longer video because I do kind of have a lot of stuff that I want to say, both with collecting and in the process of, choosing to pick up a new section of your collection. There's just some things I want to talk through. If you're not interested in that, that's totally fine. You can skip to this timestamp because I do plan to do a silent flip through at the very end. You just want to see what I have, you can go there now. Otherwise, we can get into it. First though, before we get into it, I have to give a huge thank you and shout out to Epiphany or Emily. She has no idea she's done such a thing, but she is actually a huge inspiration behind why you are seeing this video today. She uploaded one of the most iconic BTS binder flip throughs that has ever been uploaded to this site back in January, and since then, first of all, nobody needs to know how many times I watched that video. That's between me and the collecting gods. But secondly, it was a major inspiration to me. I have been toying with the idea of doing Japanese photo cards for a very long time. They are just something that I could never fully commit to because I struggled between who I was going to collect, how I was going to display them, etc, etc. And in particular, her Namjoon Japanese Photocard collection, I was just so inspired to get my act into shape and finally commit to Japanese Photocards for a bit and see if I could do it, see if I liked it. And I mean, you're seeing this video, so yes, I obviously liked it. I will also say to that, because I have been working on this for the past 5 months, no, I need to say it right now, I did not acquire all of these cards in the past 2 weeks since you last got a video for me. This video has been in the works for quite a while, and so I'm excited to talk through that with you. But yeah, I just wanted to mention Emily first. She's the complete inspiration behind this layout and this idea. You definitely need to check out her Instagram. She makes such fun collectogram content specifically geared toward Namjoon, and I just love the vibes of her account. And if you haven't seen her binder flip through, you totally should, because it is a gorgeous collection. And you know what? If you have seen that video before, you should watch it again because I know you want to. Anyway though, getting into this video, I'm going to talk through really quick what I'm going to do, and then I will finally start putting stuff away. Thank you for listening to my ode to Epiphany because it had to be said. It had to be said. Anyway, so Emily, if you haven't seen her video before, collects Namjoon, Jin, and Elle. And so I really went back and forth between how I was going to set up my collection, because if you are not aware, I do mostly collect Yoongi, Jimin, and Tae. So I really went back and forth with my own collection and layout, deciding who I was going to collect. And I will say, first and foremost, I'm going to start with Jimin and Tae because I just financially can't commit to starting Yoongi's collection yet. I think it is something I could potentially do down the road, but for now I really wanted to build out my Veeman Japanese Photocard collection, so that is what you're going to see here today. So when I saw Emily's video, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can do Jimin, Tae, filler, and then I won't be tempted to do Yoongi, because if you are unaware, typically when I don't do OT7, I go Yoongi, Jimin, Tae, and so I was like, if Yoongi's space is full, I won't be tempted to do his cards. Well, I thought about it and I moved some things around, and I just with the way my collection is laid out, I physically cannot put Jimin over here. It just feels wrong. Jimin feels like he goes here, Tae feels like he goes here, and this is Yoongi's spot. Even if Yoongi never fills in this spot, I'm going to keep this spot open for him. So yeah, I'm going to put color fillers on this side as opposed to this side. And then when I don't have a card that I will eventually fill in, we are going to do white fillers. So as you can see, we have a giant stack. They are all in order, so we can just go through it together. I really liked Emily's layout. For one, I find it so difficult to work with two members sometimes, especially with these 9 pockets. It's why I rarely just collect Veeman and I just do my full bias line instead, because I just feel like 2 is so hard to work with sometimes. but I just seeing it all laid out and full and complete on her video really just showed me what it could look like at its full force, and that is what ultimately pushed me over the edge. So I'm excited to show you what I have done with that. So we are starting with these fillers. If you want to know how to make fillers, or if you want to know how I make fillers, I'm not putting any vinyl lettering on these like I have on some of my other ones, but I did make an entire video dedicated to how I make my fillers, so I will link that video in the description as well if you are curious. Beginning with this page, I am mostly just focused on regular size Japanese photo cards for this collection. Although I do really like a lot of the larger Japanese inclusions, I particularly love when people do those two giant pockets with the flyers. I think it looks so fun. It's just not something that I'm invested in collecting right now. I'm really just collecting photo cards at the moment, but there are a few fan club holo things that I wanted to feature front and center because they are truly my pride and joy. So we can get into these ones first because you have seen these ones before on my channel. These are obviously Taeyoung's fan club holo from Speak Yourself and Magic Shop. So I plan to do the Love Yourself renewal, the Speak Yourself renewal, and the Magic Shop renewal for both Jimin and Tae. For this page, there aren't too many other fan club things that I would track down past these ones unless I saw them for a really good deal. I'm not going to pass up those opportunities, but they aren't things in my collection that I'm dying for and willing to shell out some extra money for. So for now, I'm just going to keep the fan club stuff here and at a relative minimum because it's just not something that I want to focus on beyond these two. However, I do have two new exciting cards to show you, and that is both of their Love Yourself renewal cards. I gotta say, Mercari Japan over the last 5 months has been good to me. So I was able to find those for pretty good deals, and I am very excited to have these in the collection. Particularly, this is truly one of my favorite Taeyoung cards of all time. So I'm very, very, very ecstatic to have that card in my collection and to complete this row for him. And you can see the layout in full display now. If it is a card that will eventually go there, it is a white filler, and if it is a color filler, that means that is there to stay. So this is how the page ended up looking like. I'm really happy with it. This is the only page that I decided to do 3 different fillers for it, just because I thought they really caught the vibe of like this darker one with here, here, and here, and then these golds kind of match in with these lighter, more tan colors that are happening. So, okay, moving on into album photo cards. Actually now though, this is going to require a lot of memory on my part because I'm not looking at a template right now, but I do believe it is going to be No More Dream, Boy in Love, and Danger. And from here you saw I did do 3 different fillers, but moving forward, I just kind of cut from the same line so they all look like they're connected from one picture, and it's because they are. This is what I came up with. I hope you like it. Everything is subject to change always. You never know, especially because I do have some gaps in this collection. These aren't complete collections I'm about to show you. I'm actually pretty close to being done with Jimin's. I think I have about 7 or 8 cards of his missing potentially, but I am missing a fairly big chunk of Taeyoung's in the later years. I have a lot of his earlier cards, but I think I'm missing around 13 to 15 cards of his still in the later years. So a lot of this is, you know, a work in progress, which kind of leads me into the first point that I wanted to get into in this video, and that is I recognize that doing a layout like this can be somewhat intimidating with all of these, you know, white fillers of just kind of like in your face, this is what you're missing. So I certainly don't recommend doing this layout if having a lot of empty gaps is something that bothers you. It's not something that bothers me personally, which is why I'm doing it, but I'm definitely fully aware that setting up a collection with fillers that you intend to fill with photo cards can be pretty daunting. So I don't want anyone to do this kind of layout if they know it's not going to work for them. You just have to kind of ask yourself, what are you comfortable with looking at in your collection? And for me, kind of seeing these gaps doesn't bother me. It kind of is what it is. It's how the collection is growing, and I'm okay with that. I personally don't feel this kind of rush of a pressure to fill them, but if you do, I definitely recommend don't set it up like this. There are numerous ways you can set up Japanese photocard collections, and if you want to kind of avoid fillers while you're in the process of growing the collection, totally get that. This may not be the layout for you though, especially if you collect 2 members. Anyway though, you've seen these before. These are the No More Dream cards. I am missing Jimin's Boy in Love card, but I do have Tae's, which is right here. And then I have both of Veeman's Danger cards. So this is what the page looks like. I thought the fillers kind of were dark and vibed with these earlier emo boy looks. But anyway, I will actually put these in the pocket pages now so you can see what the page actually looks like. Kind of going back to what I was saying though about how don't do this layout if you know it is something that will stress you out. Because I have seen, a lot of people say that they don't like having fillers in their collections because all they see are the gaps, and they sometimes find it harder to appreciate the cards that are actually filled in. And I totally think that's valid, which is why I wanted to, to have a little conversation about why I ultimately did decide to collect Japanese photo cards. I've made jokes before that, my Japanese collection is abysmal, quote unquote, and I don't mean that in the literal sense. I don't think anyone has to have a specific portion of their collection done. Everything in your collection is like your choice. And so I am actively choosing to collect Japanese cards. I'm not doing it because I feel as if my collection is somehow lacking because I don't have Japanese cards, which is why I personally feel okay with looking at these fillers. I might never complete this collection, and that's okay. Things can always be reorganized. Fillers can always be remade. Like, just because I spent time doing this doesn't mean I'm, I have to fill in this gap. If I never find a good deal for Jimin Boy in Love, I would rather just not have it than overpay for it. So that's just the kind of mindset that I've been in collecting lately. I've been extremely content with the collection that I have amassed with myself. And when I'm at that level of contentness, that's when I know personally for me, like, okay, it's okay to, open up this new section of the collection and actually start working on it, because I never want to be in a situation where I am, filling in holes in my collection, quote unquote, because I feel like I have to. I always want to collect things because I want to. And I hope that everyone feels that way too. I mean, just because you're watching this video and you see me, I've made a bunch of progress on Japanese in the past 5 months. It's true. But just because you're watching me do it doesn't mean that if your Japanese collection is less than mine is, that doesn't mean mine is better than yours or that yours is somehow lacking because you don't. And in the same way that other people have very full and in-depth Japanese BTS collections, that doesn't make mine any less either. And I hope that message is getting across. I don't want it to ever come across that, I'm filling holes in my collection because I feel like I have to, or, I'm doing this because I thought my Japanese collection was abysmal before. No, I was proud of my little Japanese collection before because it was my collection. And I really hope that everyone can kind of get there in that feeling, because that's what keeps collecting fun. It's so hard sometimes to focus on what you have versus what you don't have, especially when we're engaged in a community where you are meant to show off what you have. And I enjoy that. I obviously do. I enjoy looking at people's collections. I mean, this is what inspired this reorganization in the first place, was finding inspiration in someone else's collection. So I hope, if anything, collections can be more inspiring to people over making it feel like your collection is somehow less than. Anyway, I will pause my soapbox for a second so I can orient ourselves on where we're going. This is Wake Up, this is For You, and this is Kayonenka. So within this kind of bigger conversation, I will say that had I not gotten Tae's Wake Up card for an incredibly good price, which I've done a video about how I got this before, so if you know the story, you know the story. It was an incredible stroke of good luck in this era to be able to get this card. But I will say that, just because you have embarked on this journey of collecting Japanese, that doesn't mean you or I have to collect every single thing in Japanese. And I think a perfect example of this is Wake Up. I planned to not collect these Wake Up cards because I just was not into collecting them for the price that they currently go for today. And I had planned to not include Wake Up in my Japanese photocard collection, and I think that's fine. I think planning ahead of time of what you want to shoot for, what you really like, and what you want to prioritize is important, because you don't always have to complete the full collection. You can just get your priorities. And had I not gotten this for such an incredibly good deal, it would not have been a priority of mine at all, and I don't think it would have a spot on this page. Next though, I do have to show you, I do have both of their For You cards, which is exciting. As you can see, we went with this kind of marble theme because the Kayonenka cards and the Wake Up cards aesthetically are, you know, decidedly very different. Some may say clash, but honestly, I really like how it all comes together on this page. So here's For You, and probably most excitingly in this video, besides the holos, these are what I'm the most excited to show you, and it is Veeam's Kayonenka card. So Kayonenka for me is something that I knew I was always going to collect. It's definitely something you can keep out of your Japanese collection. It's not something you have to target, but Kayonenka, just for me, I love these cards so much. They're something that I knew I was always going to have. Whether I was going to have a full Japanese photocard collection or not, I was going to get some Kayonenka cards. Obviously, my dream is OT7, and if I can make a few more work, I will. Like, believe me, I will, because I love these Kayonenka cards, and I'm so happy to have them. Tae's was a little harder to track down for a good price, but I got Jimin's for a really good price. Like I said, Mercari Japan's really been on my side in these past 5 months or so. The conversion has been good to dollars, and it's just been, for me, a really good time to be buying on the site. So that is how I got that one, and this one was a little harder and pricier to track down than that one for sure. Like I said, I'm so excited to have these. These are absolute dream cards of mine. They were cards I always planned on owning once I started my collection, and I'm so excited to see them here. So this is the full completed page. I really like how it vibes, even though these are, you know, definitely aesthetic differences. I love it. I think it looks really nice, and I'm very happy and grateful that I get to have this page. I'm hoping, you know, another $10 Jimin Wake Up deal falls in my lap, but I'm certainly not holding my breath for that. But I am keeping an eye on the prices, which is another thing I totally want to recommend doing. If you are embarking on not just a Japanese photocard collection, but any new facet of your collection that you are kind of unfamiliar with, I really think that you need to take the time to invest in studying the prices on each platform that you use before you commit to buying anything. I tracked the prices of most of these cards for the entire time that I was collecting them, and also previously, because I knew that when I'm excited about something, I have a tendency to be less careful in watching the listings. And so I wanted to be able to refer back to that record that I had created of, this is what this price sells for. These are the prices that sell out very quickly. These are the prices that hang around. And truly, I think that is the best way to decide if it is feasible for you to actually start this collection. If you watch the prices that happen, the listings that come up across the different platforms that you use, and also tracking the best deal, because then you'll know when the right moment to strike is if you see that right listing. And honestly, that is how I was able to find a lot of great deals on Mercari Japan. I am certainly not the end-all be-all opinion on Japanese photocards. I'll just tell you, in my personal experience, I had a really easier time on Mercari Japan. Of course, Mercari Japan is not the place that it used to be. It is basically caught up to market prices, but there are still sellers who have lower prices, and if you are tracking those price changes, then you are able to find those deals, which is how I have been able to find the majority of these card prices. I've found, I live in the United States. Domestically, Japanese photocards are extremely overpriced in the US market. I personally have not found a lot of luck. I found a few good deals, but on the whole, I don't think the US is a good place to be looking for Japanese photo cards. It's been my experience that the best way to find BTS Japanese photo cards has been actually from the Japanese market via Mercari Japan or others. I'm sure there are other, avenues of way you can access Japanese products. However, that's just the main way that I do so. Sorry, I need to fix him. He's a little crooked. So yeah, anyway, if I can give any piece of advice, it would be to track price changes and do it across different markets if possible. That's how I found Mercari Japan, to be the best place to focus on, but it may not be the best price or place for you to focus on depending on which country you live in, etc., etc. I will show you the new cards on this page before I keep going on my little soapbox rant, but this is I Need You Yokohama, and I Need You Christmas version. This is a pretty not filled in page. I do have Jimin's I Need You card, I do have his Christmas card, and I do have Tae's I Need You card, but that is it. I have not had the best of luck finding Yokohama for a price that I'm willing to pay for it. I don't really have much more to say kind of on the pricing thing. Just, if you've checked 5 listings and you think you know what a good price is, I would say you probably don't. I think to actually search and find the good deals, it does take some legwork, and I think it's just up to you to decide whether or not that is something that you are personally interested in investing your time into, because you might not be, which is totally fine, but I'm just sharing my experience on how I was able to kind of grow this collection in the manner that I did, using Mercari Japan mostly. Like I said, you can't, shut off all other platforms, because to truly find the best deal, you have to be able to search through multiple of them to actually find what's being listed. So yeah, here's this page. I really like it. I'm excited to see it to come together. I would say, for the sake of, the 9-pocket page, Yokohama is something I do really want to make happen, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and I'll just take this line out and we can, move into Run on this page, which leads me onto this page, which is Run, Handshake, and Youth. Run Handshake is another section you definitely don't have to include if you don't want to. They're just cards that I personally would like to own, so that's why I'm holding a place for them now. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and I will once again move everything up. So yeah, I really think that's all I had to say about it. I just wanted to, not accidentally encourage people to feel as though they need to have a full Japanese photocard collection, because I absolutely don't believe that's true. And I don't even plan to have a full Japanese photocard collection. These ones that I'm setting up for are the ones that I really want, but in general, I don't plan to have a fully in-depth BTS Japan collection, just because I find them harder to track down. They are more money, and in general, they're just not what I want to focus on. However, I do really love these photo cards, and I really wanted to prioritize them in my collection, which is why I did so. So just at the end of the day, I know it's so difficult. To not have FOMO, or to not be, a little jealous of what you see on Instagram or YouTube. Believe me, I feel it too. But I've really, focused this year on just being content with my collection, and it's actually worked. I don't know. I feel like I've been, I add this for 2 years now, and I look through my collection, I'm like, I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, and I don't think it matters on how big your collection is or how, complete your collection is. I think what matters is that, you spent time on it, you spent money on it, you spent work on it, and you put it together, and it's kind of, like a reflection of your work as a collector, and I think that's really fun and special. I mean, obviously, I have an entire channel dedicated to my collection. However, I do think what helped me kind of get to a more content state is that no collection, represents how big or good of a fan you are of BTS. You don't have to collect it all. I truly believe that. You don't need to monetarily contribute to their success to be a real fan. And, just thinking about that and why I'm here and what makes me the happiest in the fandom is not, you know, because I've amassed this giant collection of things. It's the experiences I've had, it's the connections I've made, and it's the feelings that they have given me. And that is how I've become, you know, more content with, this is what I have, this is what I have made, but it doesn't define who I am as a fan of BTS. And I hope that sentiment is comforting to even just one person watching this video, because it was incredibly comforting to me, you know, when I would get in my head about, oh, I want this or that or whatever. And I just need to remind myself at the end of the day that this is a hobby and it's not a reflection of who I am as a person, nor my value as a fan of BTS. So yeah, I will get off my soapbox now. We can just talk about the photo cards, but I don't know. I just had like quite the fun time collecting Japanese photo cards, which is something I never thought I would say, because I always knew it was going to be so hard and difficult. But once I kind of removed the pressures of myself of, oh, I need to complete this as soon as possible and I can't show it off until it's completely complete and blah, 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 I started having a lot more fun with it. And yeah, I just wanted to share that kind of experience and what I've been thinking through. But actually, what are we looking at? We are looking at Run Handshake, and Youth. And I'm very hopeful that, you know, Orange Min, and then the kind of pink, more soft looking fits in well with this Youth concept down here, and that everything looks great. But, you know, we will cross that bridge when we come to it if it's awful. Like I said, fillers are changeable. Just because I put these fillers here doesn't mean these photo cards have to live here forever. So this is just possibly one of the first iterations of Japanese you will see in my collection, and who knows, maybe several months from now it will look completely different. Moving on though, we have Fake Love, Lights, and Map of the Soul 7. I'm gonna be honest with you, the regular version, I don't quite know what this photo card is. You will see it when I put it away. But moving forward, I unfortunately have a lot less Tae cards. I mostly just have Jimin's later stuff completed, which is sad. Tae's are definitely something that I want to work towards, but I found it very difficult to find his newer stuff well priced. I don't know if anyone else who collects Tae has had that experience. I found it a lot easier to find some of his older stuff for better deals, which was kind of shocking to me because I thought it would be the opposite, but I've really struggled with Tae's cards, not necessarily for Fake Love and Lights, but certainly for Map of the Soul 7 and certainly for BTS The Best. So anyway, yeah, we will see. Like I said, nothing is set in stone, and if they don't happen, they don't happen. I'm not gonna overpay for these because I've really enjoyed this collection, as I have, you know, said to you 10 million times now. You're tired of hearing it, but it's true, and I just don't want to make it kind of a stressful thing, because I kind of did that with Korean albums in the beginning. I feel like I really wanted to, you know, complete, and it kind of sucked all the fun out of Korean album collecting for me. So I just want to, you know, have a good time with Japanese photo cards. They happen or they don't. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is over here, and we are okay with that fact. So probably like, this is quite the color choice combination, but I actually thought it really worked, because if you do know what Tae's Fake Love and Lights photo card look like, they're very bright. He has pink hair and then blue hair, and then this card is a very similar vibe to this card. And I just thought with Jimin's darker outfits that a softer look would go. I may not feel the same, you know, when I see them in person, but I thought, you know, this little pop of rainbow color could match with his two different hair colors, but on whole, it's a pretty soft, you know, sky. And we will see when they get there. I'm eager to see what they look like when I do get them. I am like always terrified of these Fake Love and Lights cards because I feel like they have so many fakes. I see so many good fakes of these two cards, especially, that I'm just very nervous I'm going to be bamboozled. I'm pretty sure, like I'm like 100% sure that these are right. So I know if I do get anything funky looking for Tays that I'll be able to tell based on what these ones feel like. But still, I just feel like I'm about to walk into some kind of persona situation, if you are all aware of, you know, my struggles with persona. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, we've got a full Jimin page and unfortunately no TT, but hopefully he won't be long. Okay, moving on. I don't even know what comes next. Oh, it's Map of the Soul 7, The Journey continued. There are obviously 4 more cards that I'm missing. The only one that I have is this card. It is truthfully one that I didn't expect to collect. I was just going to do the Fan Club Limited cards, I believe, which are from the same photo shoot. And I was going to call it a day on that. I was going to do Fan Club Limited and the 2, you know, Universal Music ones. But then this one, you know, as they do, fell into my lap for a very good price because if you're not aware, the Weverse ones are very expensive. Too expensive. It doesn't make sense to me why they're that expensive, but regardless, they weren't something that I planned on getting. So I think for this page, if for some reason Tays falls into my lap, his Weverse one, then I will do all 4 for each, and I'll kind of do a 4 and 4 situation. If it doesn't, what I plan to do is to get Taeyong's Fan Club Limited card that is from the same photo shoot but just doesn't have his name, and I think he's in a slightly different position. And I won't get Jimin's Fan Club Limited. I will do, you know, there too. And then I'll do the Universal Music Store top and bottom the way that I have been doing for this 222 look. I think I'll do that and then just not worry about the 2 Jimin and Tae cards that I will be missing. It just kind of depends what I run into. Like I said, I have struggled a lot with finding good Tae deals for these more later releases, so it just kind of remains to be seen. These ones I'm not really in a rush about because I don't even like them that much. So again, they're really not a priority unless I find an outstanding deal on them. But you never know. You can never say never, because truly it might be never, and tomorrow maybe I'll be like, you'll never believe what listing I came across. So yeah, anyway, I just decided to kind of do this filler look for now. These are obviously not going to stay here because I will move it all around eventually. But for now, I thought this was fun, and truthfully, they were some of the only matching fillers that I had cut out at the moment that had enough. So that is why I went with this look in particular. I might change it in the future if I can find something more, you know, black and white themed, something that fits the vibe more. But even then, I mean, the pink cans are certainly going to clash with these, so it's definitely going to be something that takes a little trial and error on the filler front. But for now, this is Map of the Soul 7, The Journey, and then we conclude with BTS The Best. I have almost Jimin's full set. I just don't have his Weverse pre-order benefit, and as before, I don't have any of Tae's. I believe I am putting this in chronological release order. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I did try. This is Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I'm so sorry I don't remember. I know a lot of these came in pairs. I know Blood, Sweat, and Tears came paired with this, but that's the only pair that I remember, so I apologize. There are templates available online if you are just targeting, you know, one version of these. I definitely considered doing that, but I was able to find a pretty good priced Jimin bundle on Mercari Japan. I will also say watch out for these two because there are a lot of fakes of these running around too. I mean, we always have to be aware of fakes, but there are, I feel like, some that are more notorious than others, and I've seen a lot of fake ones of these. I will say they are fairly obvious, you know, when you see them on the listings when they are fake, because they just do not look anywhere near like how they should, but it's still something to definitely keep an eye out for. So anyway, we have Blood, Sweat, and Tears, we have DNA Crystal Snow, we have Face Yourself, we have Fake Love, maybe not if we can't get them in. We have Lights, we have Map of the Soul Journey, the 7, possibly not. 911, there we go. We have BTS The Best, BTS The Best, and like I said, I would really like to get the pre-order benefit for Jimin and put it right there so we can have a nice full 9 pocket page. That is the end of these photo cards. I do have these things that you have seen before on this channel. They are Map of the Soul 7, the Journey fan club postcards. I seriously, people, listen to me. Listen to me. If you don't know, stop buying these on Mercari US. This is a public service announcement. I am begging you, stop buying these. Stop buying these on Mercari US. People sell them for astronomical prices. You can get them all. Every single member is under $10 on Mercari Japan, okay? Please stop. Please stop buying these postcards from Mercari US sellers. Every time I see it, it drives me nuts. Do I possibly have a villain origin story because I sold my JK one for a very good price on Mercari US, and then that person who bought it from me relisted it for $55 and sold it? Yes, that is perhaps my villain origin story. But please, please don't buy these from Mercari US. If you are a US Army, don't do it. Don't do it. They're not worth it. If you don't have access to Mercari Japan, they are not worth it. You do not need these in your collection. Stop giving Mercari US resellers such a profit on these. Oh, it just like, it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul to even see these get sold for over $20, because I'm not kidding. You can get all of these for under $10 on Mercari Japan. So anyway, I'm so sorry I just went on a rant at you about these, but I just want people to know, if you are unaware, these are not valuable, okay? They are not. I know they're a fan club thing, and you know, fan club does have its exclusivity in some regard. However, these specifically are not. They're not. Do not spend a lot of money on these, because you can still to this day get them for under $10. So that has been my public service announcement. I will do the silent flip through now and finally wrap up this video. I know I've been talking a lot at you about my feelings, and I'm very positive that when I get to editing this, I will be like, damn, you didn't make any sense. But you know, I tried. So anyway, here is a silent flip through. I hope you enjoy. Yay, and that is the end of that. So I will wrap up this video now with one last quick little thing. I know I said a lot of things, and all of these are my opinions. They are all based on my experiences. You should definitely not take what I say on collecting as the final word. You should do your own research. You should ask your own friends, and you should ask other collectors their opinions on things, because I definitely don't have all the answers, and everything that I do is not the best and most right way. That if you somehow, you know, felt what I was saying is I have the best way and I figured it all out, I absolutely have not. I just wanted to share with you my experience of how I was able to grow my Japanese photocard collection over the past 5 months or so. And you can take with it what you will. You can ignore me, you can follow in my footsteps, you can do anything in between. Like I said, it is your collection, it is your money, it is your time, it is your creativity, it is your wants that drive a collection, and you can do whatever you want with it. So I'm rooting for you in your collection. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I know I really, rambled on, but I did enjoy making it, and I did enjoy sharing this little piece of my collection. I hope you're not too upset that I had these cards from you for so long, but it was just part of the process for me. It's how I like to do things. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you know you are about to experience the same thing with me, but through a different way. I announced on Instagram that I'm going to collect another member for DVD, If you don't follow me on Instagram, very fair. You certainly don't have to. Considering I don't have a cohesive feed and all I do is shit post on my Instagram stories. But if you do, then you are aware of who I am going to collect for DVD as well. So look forward to that. I have a lot of binder reorganizations coming up. And of course we have proof coming up. So I'm really excited. I am done with my first year of grad school. It was horrible. I'm happy it's done. I'm so happy it's done. I'm happy that I'm going to be working full-time this summer, and hopefully I will be able to spend some more time on my collection than I have been able to in the last few months. And I might also possibly be able to upload more frequently than I have during the school year, but we will see. No promises will be made. So yeah, look forward to that. Please like the video if you did enjoy, comment if you would like to, and subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. I hope you're having an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.
Get the hell out.